Welcome back to Cryptos Are Us. I'm George. We're all George. So today was an interesting day, to say the least. We had a pretty good dump to 85 something. And then we found a bottom and we bounced back up, right? But is the dump over? Was that the bottom? So let's discuss. Let's discuss everything that happened today. And let's look at what may be happening now and tomorrow. All right. Let's do it. Let's do it, guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's looking a little bit better right now than this morning. This morning when I was streaming, actually this morning when we were a little bit higher, I think we started out like at 91. I forgot what we started out, like 91, 92, but then we just like kept going down and down and down and down. As Wall Street opened up, man, we just had endless selling from Wall Street. Wall Street was in a panic mode today and just kept going down and down and down and down. And today we saw Bitcoin bottom out right around 85.8. Like it seemed like there was no stop. Look at it. Like, it seemed like this was a bottom and then we came back up and then boom. This looked like it was a bottom and then came back up. Boom. And then it looked like this was a bottom, came out, boom. This looked like a bottom and then boom. Finally, we found a bottom and then we start climbing back up, right? But it's early and we're not that far off from bottom. But the good thing is we're not that far off from top either. And a lot of the alts did come back up. This morning I was actually mentioning how strong the alts were. Because this morning it was pretty obvious that Wall Street was just dumping Bitcoin, and you actually saw a lot of the alts kind of stay steady while Bitcoin kept dumping. It was very obvious that Wall Street this morning was just dumping because, today was just one of those sell-off days, risk-off days. Tech got absolutely destroyed. MicroStrategy, Coinbase, Nvidia, Tesla, like NASDAQ, all around, everything got dumped today. And that's just because overall Wall Street is worried about what's coming. This came out this morning. Consumer confidence hits a 4-year low. Obviously, the tariff situation is going to escalate. Canada, Mexico, the 25% will be enforced. There's no more delays on that. Right? So Wall Street, obviously, getting a little worried, and they are selling off. And then also, this came out this morning too. People saw that BlackRock itself deposited $200 million of crypto into Coinbase. Specifically, 18,000 ETH and 1,800 Bitcoin. Now, why would BlackRock be doing that? Recently we saw Binance move a large amount to Wintermute. And, we know Citadel is entering the game. And that, I still think there's something going on with that. Because in order for them to become a liquidity provider, they need to accumulate a lot. So it would not surprise me that this was part of some master plan. But yeah, this also scared a lot of people. BlackRock selling. And then this also came out. This also scared people. Crypto transfers in Europe somehow are being restricted to and from exchanges because of these new regulations. Like all these KYC procedures are required. So all of a sudden, all these exchanges, including Coinbase, is blocking transfers in Europe to recipients. And this is even when sending to, self-custody wallets. So this also caused some delays and some FUD and, you get it. A lot of fun. And plus the Bybit hackers, right? They are still trying to cash out. They're trying to sell as much as they can, right? But here's the good news. With all of the scary things that happened yesterday and today, Bitcoin found a floor and has bounced off the bottom. Okay. That doesn't mean that the scariness is over. It doesn't mean that the FUD is over. I think we will be able to tell in a little bit, because for the last week or so at night, particularly soon, I would say, you tend to see a sell-off in the US, because that's when Asia opens up, Europe opens up, and then you'll see like a sell-off. For whatever reason, Asia likes to be selling off, right? So we will see if they continue to do so. They definitely did it yesterday. We'll see if that happens, or they do what we're starting to see right now in North America, and that is a lot of people taking advantage of the cheap prices, okay? Taking advantage of the dips. And they're loading up right now because this is a fantastic opportunity with Bitcoin in the mid 80s and a lot of alts down 20, 30% from just a few months ago, right? So I think we're going to see pretty soon, in a few hours, whether or not Asia decides to buy or Asia decides to dump even more, okay? But despite all the bad news, all the FUD that's out there, we definitely still have a lot of great things happening, okay? It's never one-sided. It always seems like the world is ending. Oh my God, everything is bad. There's nothing good going on. No, a lot of great things. It was just overshadowed by the fact that things, look bad because everything was dumping. For example, this was pretty positive. And I said this too. SEC has been dismissing these lawsuits one after another. And I suspected this was going to happen next, and it did. So they started with Coinbase. They dropped their investigation or lawsuit against Coinbase. They dropped it against Robinhood. Now they dropped it against Uniswap. So I don't know what's left, but they are dropping one after another. So basically, they're not going after decentralized projects anymore. And all these exchanges they were going after because they previously thought, well, staking is a type of security. All these crypto are securities. Everything's security. Their stance is changing. This is very positive. Short term, maybe people don't care. Long term, this is absolutely fantastic in the US. It's going to bring or keep a lot of companies and innovation here and not drive people away. This is really good. This came out today. Also, this came out today. GameStop is being pressured to utilize their $5 billion cash to go and buy Bitcoin. This is probably going to happen. There are a lot of signs, okay, that show that this is going to happen. Now, $5 billion into Bitcoin is not going to significantly boost the price up. Okay, Saylor has bought more than $5 billion. He does it regularly, so you're not going to see a huge price spike. However, we know what GameStop represents. A lot of degens, a lot of retail investors, obviously, will jump in, and overall, it's another big company that's getting involved and implementing a Bitcoin strategy, and there's Nothing wrong with that. That's awesome. That's awesome. And something else that came out today that's awesome. Bybit, obviously their big hack. No one liked it. I didn't like it. It came at the worst time possible. Well, Ben Zhu is fighting back. Unveils a 140 million bounty on the Lazarus Group. Anyone that could shed light on the stolen funds and, you know, where it's being transferred to and anything about the stolen funds will get a bounty. So he's actually fighting back. That's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. I don't think we have seen that before. So that's pretty good. And according to this, you know, the hackers are having a hard time laundering the money. They have laundered about 94 million, but that's a drop in the bucket compared to how much they took. Everyone is looking at the stolen funds. So it's not going to be that easy to cash out $1.4 billion. It's going to be very, very, very difficult, especially now. There's a $140 million bounty. That's big. This is good. Very, very good. What else is there? Oklahoma, another state, with a vote of 12-2, now has passed. They're going to implement a Bitcoin strategy. One after another. One after another after another. We're getting more and more states that will be buying Bitcoin. Utah, another one that will be approving soon, right? These things are still happening. Just because we fell down from 99 down to 88 doesn't mean that the progress that's been happening just halts and stops. The fundamentals of Bitcoin continues to move forward. And this year is still going to be fantastic. We have seen dips like this before. We have seen many dips like this before. Okay? I mean, here's a gentle reminder. It was a different time back then, but the 2017 bull run. I lived through this. Some of you guys lived through this. And even a 2021 bull run. We had many 30% dips. Okay, this cycle, we haven't had much, but every single cycle we have them. And that doesn't mean the bull run is over. It's scary. No one likes it. No one likes to see a big dip. But hey, like I've been saying, dips are gifts. If you could take advantage, do so. If you can't, just continue to hold on and don't fall for FUD. And we will move past it and continue forward. Bernstein still thinks that Bitcoin will hit 200,000 by the end of this cycle. Still thinks nothing has changed, even with this dip, this correction. And I think so too, because again, the fundamentals have not changed. Just because you have some market manipulation, you have some, I don't know, hedge funds like Citadel that's coming in and maybe manipulating the market, or maybe just Wall Street in combination is scared right now and overreacting and selling off right now. That doesn't change things. It doesn't. And that's why there are still a lot of whales that are buying billions behind the scenes, OTC. They're doing so without disrupting the price so that most of you guys won't know about it. That's why you need to tune in so I could cover it, but it's happening. Happening right in front of your eyes, behind closed doors. So still a lot of accumulation, a lot of great things happening right now. Right now. You just have to have patience. That's it. Lastly, a few other news. Wyoming is going to come out with a stable coin of their own, and they're looking to launch this either on SUI or AVAX. That's interesting. That's very interesting. I don't know why Wyoming needs its own stablecoin, but what's more interesting is they're choosing Sui or Avalanche, right? Sui obviously has had a really good year, or especially in 2024. And Avalanche is one that hasn't had a real bump in price, but they are. I think they're going to get their shot. I saw this too. In 2026, Sports Illustrated Stadium will be the first major venue to adopt ticketing on top of Avalanche. Interesting. I didn't even know Sports Illustrated is going to have its own stadium. Home of the New York Red Bulls. Interesting. But anyways, there's a lot of things happening on Avalanche. They have RWA, they have memes, they have AI, they have a lot of games. They haven't had a turn yet, but I think they will. Anyways, again, this morning was kind of scary. We're bouncing back up. If Asia decides to jump in and decides to load up tonight, we could be back in the 90s tomorrow. Maybe 91, 92. We could be right back up here by the time we wake up tomorrow during my live stream. And then, you know what? We're not far off from where we were. So, let's see. All right, let's do some Q&A. I saw a question about the Lakers. Man, Luka looked awesome in the last game. If Luka can play like that with LeBron, they are going to be unstoppable. Peter, thank you for that super chat. Yeah, I'm hoping. Luka does look a little, if I have to say, a little bit chubby. But hopefully the work ethic of LeBron rubs off on him. If he could drop like 10, 15 pounds, he really would be like unstoppable like his old self. He just needs to drop a little weight. That's all. Secret Juice. Appreciate that. Appreciate it. All this golf. When Bitcoin's OTC supply is gone, maybe institutions will merge towards plays like Stacks where you can earn Bitcoin through staking. I don't know if institutions will ever trust that. They may, but I don't know. I don't know if they will. Maybe a little bit. Because now, you know what? What they're trying to do is allow staking to be incorporated in ETFs. I think they got approval for Ethereum. So what they may end up doing is maybe they'll get like a Stacks ETF. So then institutions could buy it and gain staking rewards with it. That could be interesting. Do you think bull run extends into 2026? It's really hard to say. I still think it could be a super cycle. So if that's the case, yes. I think we'll still have corrections like this as we move forward. But it could definitely just keep on going. We could have continuous corrections. And then just keep on going and going and going. That's definitely a possibility. Gamer Armor says, Euro players don't need to work out. Jokic is fat too. Well, Jokic is, but I mean, that's not true. Giannis is fit as hell. I mean, You got a lot of other people that are European and they are really fit. No matter what, you can't argue. Like someone like Luca, he would do better if he was more fit. He doesn't need to bang his body as much as Jokic. Look at that inverse head and shoulders forming. Yeah, that's exactly what that is on a 15-minute scale. That's a head, that's a shoulder, that's a shoulder. And this is following, boom, right back up to 92. Uh, that would definitely give us a sigh of relief, give us some breathing room. Right now, although, yes, we're off on the bottom, we're still a little bit too close for comfort. Once we get back to the 90s, 92, and we start climbing, then for sure we know that was the bottom. This morning, it just seems like, man, we're just endlessly going down. There's no bounce, no bounce. Love to see a good recovery back into the 90s and move past this. Richie, is the LC500 worth getting? I think it's the only Lexus that's worth getting. That's the only one I'm interested in. I love that car. Love that car, especially a new one when they upgraded. The entertainment system. Now it's touchscreen. That one is awesome. Convertible. You got to get the convertible. It's worth getting. I think it's gonna be a collector's car too. That one is like timeless. I don't think that car will ever get old. To hear, do you have a private one-to-one mentorship? No, I don't. People have asked me that. People have emailed me that. I just feel that's wrong. Um, because if I did do that, I would charge a decent amount, and I feel wrong by doing that, so I just don't do it. Black hat fishing. I knew ETFs were a good and bad idea. Stock market doesn't match crypto. Massive market manipulation. I always wondered if the ETFs were just allowed to set up a crash to scare retail investors. You're right about that because, like I've been saying, you have to take the good with the bad. So far, it's been good. Okay, we definitely have a lot more inflows than outflows, but yes, it can be used to manipulate the market when you have a mass amount of outflows. It could definitely be used to drive Bitcoin down, but when things are hot, they are hot. When the inflows flow, there's no doubt it does help Bitcoin. I think over time, still, ETFs are going to be more beneficial. And once you have the ETFs for the alts, once you get a Solana ETF, XRP ETF, or Cardano ETF, I think they will be very beneficial for those alts. MJ Matrix, do you think the cycle has changed? Yeah, you know what? It's never the same. Okay? Just because history shows that, this is supposed to be the most bullish month, doesn't always have to be, right? Who's to say that we just didn't get delayed a month? Maybe for us, this cycle, March is the most bullish month, or maybe it becomes April, right? Doesn't really matter. Original Crest that I just bought a Mercedes SUV. It's a GLS GLE 350. I know it's a nice car. It's a nice car. Mercedes, can't go wrong with Mercedes. All the GLs, GLC, GLE, GLS. My wife drives a GLS. They're all fantastic. Mercedes knows how to make cars. even their EQS, EQ cars, their electric cars are awesome, but no one wants them. And their G Wagons are awesome. How do we know if this is a dead cat bounce or just a recovery? You really don't unless we just start going higher, right? We just don't. That's why I said if we get back to 92s, right? Let's say tomorrow we're back to 92s and we start recovering, then we know this is not just a dead cat bounce and we are recovering. But still where we are right now, we're still a little bit too close to comfort to call it a full recovery. This could still be a bounce. I think it really depends on if Asia wakes up and decides to load up or sell off, because yesterday and the day before and throughout the weekend, Asia was just selling off every day. X8T. Wow. Even with the bad market, you sent $100 super chat. I appreciate you, man. I do. Thank you for that. I try to do my best to try to keep people calm and collected. It's tough sometimes, but I appreciate you appreciating that. Nine breaker. I also appreciate that. Thank you. Isn't it like 11 o'clock in China right now? I guess you guys are right. Yeah, it is. It is already morning over there. The market should be open, and we haven't seen a dump yet. So I guess that's encouraging. I guess we had to see if Europe dumps. Hopefully Europe doesn't dump. Rodney says we're going to retest 43K before we bounce up to 200K. Man, I don't know where you got that from. If we retest 43K, you got to sell the farm. You got to bet everything on Bitcoin if that happens. I'd sell all my cars. I'd sell everything, all my stocks, everything, and I'd be buying Bitcoin if that happened. I would literally sell everything. I'd take out home mortgage. I do whatever I can to buy at 43K. Gap is at 77K, and someone else called 70K. We'll see. I don't believe in the CME gap, but a lot of times it does hit, but I still don't quite believe it. Who's to say we don't hit 200K first before we hit 77K first? We could hit 200K first and then do that drop to fill that gap at 77K. Black hat fishing. I love that you keep people positive. Bitcoin is still the best long-term play. I wish people would just hodl. Panic buying has always been a problem with retail investors. I was 50K earlier today. I mean, it comes with the territory. I realize that. I mean, even me, like I don't like to see the price go down. I don't even check my portfolio on days like today, right? Like, there's no point to it. Um, but I get it. There are people. No one likes to lose money. No one likes to see their portfolio go down. But most people haven't been in a space as long as I have, or some of you guys, and they need reinsurance that, hey, things will get better, things will improve, because when things go down, scary thoughts start happening. Ricky Romero, is it good to rotate some BTC and gain to Sui Solana? If you don't have any Sui Solana, it wouldn't be a bad idea, but like, it's hard to say, man. I myself hold a good amount of Sui Solana, but primarily I hold mostly Bitcoin, because it's been proven, especially this cycle, that it's very hard to outperform Bitcoin. Tomorrow, when I show my DCA portfolio, you will see nothing in my portfolio outside of one meme coin has outperformed Bitcoin. Sui and Solana now trails Bitcoin by a far, far margin. So, you just don't know. This cycle has been different. We haven't been moving the same way as before. So who's to say that sticking with Bitcoin isn't the best move? Cam, George, I start OnlyFans to buy more Bitcoin for a dip. Hey, you got to do what you got to do. If you can make a good amount of OnlyFans, more power to you. Let's see, what was the liquidations from today? Well, 24 hours, 1 billion. Yes, this morning when I covered it, it was like 1.5 billion. It's really a lot more than that. I was really close. I have so much. I was really, really close. I kept adding more and more margin. And I'm glad that it stopped. Thoughts on Bitcoin double top possibly on a daily? No one is speaking about double top possibly. This? Nah. We're nowhere close, man. Nowhere close to the top. If you look at all the metrics, like if you look at 2021, when we had that second top, if you look at the metrics, like MV, RV, or whatever else, other metric that we have, it actually correlated that it looked like they were tops, like those two double tops. Right now, if you look at all those metrics, which I don't have available with me, it shows that we are nowhere close to the top. Based on previous, cycles and all the things that they measure, we're nowhere close to the top. That here, appreciate that. Thank you. Quadruple top coming. Ryan, do you think Solana's on a fake run? I think it'll go up more and then whales will eat it down to 110. No, I think Solana is severely oversold right now. It's one of those situations. So much FUD has built up. People are dumping it because they're scared. Solana was just above 200 not too long ago. And then it fell down to 170s. And then the more FUD hit, and now it's in 140s. This is a bargain right now. Not to say it won't go down more if we have more FUD, but Solana got hit the hardest due to all the FUD. It all started with that Argentina president. That guy kind of kicked it off and just made things worse. So, but I think it's severely oversold right now. Asia stocks are dipping on Trump tariffs. Well, I'm glad to hear, or glad to see, I should say, that Bitcoin isn't dumping more. Asia is not dumping right now. They probably dumped everything they had yesterday because yesterday we did down to like 86 at night, and then we kind of came up, and then we dumped more when Wall Street opened. So it's good to see that they pretty much dumped everything they had, and maybe they're buying now. Grub, thank you. Thank you. Audio keeps dropping out. Is my audio dropping out? Anyways, I've been talking for a long time. So I'll conclude. We're going up. 89.2, not bad. Not bad. If Asia continues to keep buying, by the time we get to my morning stream tomorrow, we'll be back in the 90s, 92. If we get back here by tomorrow morning, we'll be in really good shape. Then we know this is not just a dead cat bounce. This is actually a full recovery. But like I've been saying, just because we have some bad news, some FUD, and there are definitely a lot of FUD right now, not all is lost. We got some great things still happening in the space. So stay strong, stay focused. I'll see you guys tonight, 8:30 p.m., 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Yeah, I got to watch the Lakers game. Got to watch Luka. All right. Have a good one, guys. Take